But what's interesting is our discussion today.
It is.
Our discussion today is one of my favorite things to talk about, actually, and that is the truth of the life of this world and putting something forward for the akhirah. You know, what are we doing for the akhirah, and what is the life of this world? How do we understand it? You know, uh, what do you think about that?
SubhanAllah, it's like whenever I think about that, there always comes a question in mind where almost everybody who's in Islam, who's outside of Islam, he's trying like anybody is trying to like find what they want to do in life, and it comes to the question of like, what's my purpose in life,
Mm.
right? Um, and everybody's kind of like trying to find that with their work, with their jobs, with their hobbies, with like new things that they try to like, pick up and try,
Yeah.
and it all comes down to what's my purpose in life. And subhanallah, Allah makes it clear to us that our purpose in life, the single reason that He created us for, is what? Is to worship Him. Everything around us is kind of like a bit of a distraction and a bit of tests that we have in our lives to see, and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see, and for us as human beings to decide. And that's kind of like what that's really our specialty, or Allah's gift to us is for us to this is for us to decide whether we're going to choose the right or whether we're going to choose the bad in this world and follow.
What's interesting then is that I remember reading this book, and in the book it was talking about how a man was driving with his family, and they were going on a trip to some island. And he reached the island, and the whole way there, hours, the sun is beating down on the car. It's hot in this car. It's driving them crazy. Kids are in the back, just yelling and are we there yet? That whole thing over and over and over again. And he finally gets to the hotel, and the hotel is packed. So many people there, and he's sitting there waiting in line hours. Felt like. And he finally gets up to the counter. Their room's not ready. They got to get their room ready. This vacation is starting to turn into just a terrible experience, right? And he finally gets to his room. He flops out. The bed is so soft. It's so comfortable. The kids are all putting on, their swimming trunks, and they're like, hey, we're about to go out to the beach, that sort of thing. They go out to the beach, and the water is cold, and it's refreshing, and the sun is, and then he wakes up. And then he wakes up. In the book, this man was having a dream, but the dream felt so real. Like that time to get from where he was to the hotel, he felt like he traveled that time. You know what I'm saying? He felt that time he's waiting in the hotel lobby. He felt that time. The heat from the sun, he felt that heat. The cold water that the kids were experiencing, he felt that cold water. You know what I'm saying?
The excitement, the happiness.
But none of it's real. And that is the reality of this life that we live. Is that we, subhanAllah, we go through so many different experiences. You know, um, Friends hurting each other, emotional experiences, or friends helping each other, and it feels so real. And or there's people in other countries who don't have food to eat, starving. You know what I'm saying? And they feel the hunger pains. Like subhanAllah, Ramadan, that's one thing that we try to do, right? We try to feed people during this month, right? They're feeling the hunger pains. All of this feels so real, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this is all a delusion. This entire life is just a delusion. And to bring it home, one thing that just always it strikes me is there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that a man will come on the day of judgment, and this man will say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or Allah will ask this man, he will say, did you know any good in your life? And this man will say, no, my life was terrible. From the day I was born to the day I died. Allah will take this man, order him to be dipped, just a dip in Jannah, like this. And then Allah will question him again. And he'll say, did you know any good in your life? Or did you know any terrible times in your life?
Mm-hmm.
The man will say, Wallah, my life was great. My life was perfect. That one dip in Jannah, erased his grief, all of it. Adversely, though, the individual who had such a sweet life, did whatever he wanted to do, got drunk, did this, did that, Allah will dip him. Ask him the same question. Did you know any hardship in your life? No, my life was great. It's balling. Enjoyed it. Allah dips him in Jahannam, just a dip. Then asks him the same question. Did you know any good in your life? No, I knew nothing good in my life. My life was horrible. And so it brings the reality of this, of what we're doing here, we get so caught up, and I gotta have the new fashion Nova jeans, and I gotta have the latest song. I want to hear it, and I gotta be out and look, I look fresh. You know what I'm saying? And we going out and gonna be a party, this and that. All of these things do not matter. They don't. Your experience with them are fleeting. The second you have them, you can barely remember all the details that you experienced. It's just everything in his life. It's gone. It's gone.
SubhanAllah, we even know that feeling too.
Yeah.
With things that we enjoy normally here, we kind of like have an amazing feeling, whether if it's from an experience with people that you hang out with, righteous people, whether it's from buying a new thing or like a new car, which
Right.
is, and it's some also materialistic things, but we know that feeling.
Wow.
We know that it lasts for a little bit and then it goes away.
Wow.
You know?
Now, adversely to that, the beautiful thing about that, right? Same thing with grief, right? You go through hardship, you go through grief, you go through difficulties in this life. Allah says, be patient. I have a reward for you. Be patient. If you bear this with patience, when you come see me, trust me. You're gonna be thankful you went through those hardships. What do the mujahids say when they pass away? They when they see what's waiting for them, they say, "Ya Allah, send us back, so we can die 1,000 times over. Send us back." You know what I'm saying? They want to go through because they see what's waiting for them. This life it's nothing. It's nothing. And alhamdulillah, that's the beautiful thing about it, right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He gives us joy to test us, right? See if we're going to get caught up in it and forget about our duties to Him and our duties to our deen and righteousness, right? But then He also gives us grief to remind us that this is it's not gonna stay like this forever, right? Alhamdulillah, pain is a reminder uh, of to not get attached. You know what I'm saying? To not get caught up in this world. And alhamdulillah, it's not infinite. That it passes away. But that's the truth about everything in this life, right? Allah says, if you just pay attention to the signs, you look at, everything that has ever been created, eventually, what happens to it? It deteriorates. It flees. It goes away.
Yeah.
You buy a brand new car, 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, you're like, man, I need a new car. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with maintenance in your house. You know what I'm saying? You bought a new house, 10 years down the line, the paint's chipping maybe. You know what I'm saying? Everything in this life around us is reminding us that it's going to fade. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Allah is the only one that's everlasting. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously reminds us. And I'll say this, I'm sorry, I know I'm hogging things, please forgive me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say on the day of judgment that there will be people who will come to Allah and they will be begging Allah, Ya Allah, please, 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 we're begging you, send us back. Send us back. Right? Send us back and we will give you the world and everything in it. Right? So Allah says they ransom that which they don't own. Right? They don't own this world. And they ransom it to me when I ask for them less. Just obey me. Just keep up with your salah. Just do what you have to do. You know, at 50, 60 years, خلاص, I'll give you the world, and I'll give you what the lowest person in Jannah gets what? 10 times the earth and everything in it. But we don't. For some of us, maybe the akhirah is not as real as right now feels. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's hard to look that far ahead in the future. You know what I'm saying? 50, 60, however long we live, that far ahead. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when everything's passed away, when your friendships are done, when you're on the day of judgment and your friends are coming and they're asking for your deeds, because that's what they're going to do. Your parents are going to come and ask for your deeds. Your mom, your father, everyone, they're going to come ask for your deeds, right? When all of that has faded away and we're no longer friends and we're no longer family, we're all just trying to survive the day of judgment, then it makes sense. But Allah says what about that moment?
Wake up.
It's too late. That moment is too late. You should have done it when I gave you the time, you know. And that is the truth of this world. This world is something that, will mislead us, will make us believe, and it feels so real. Like you think about it, right? You eat a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? You eat a sandwich and it tastes so good. And you're like, man, I want to experience that over and over and over again. Or you feel pain and it hurts so bad, rather it be emotional pain or physical pain. You feel it and it hurts so bad. I don't ever want to experience that again. This is what a test Allah has created that feels that real. But at the same time, it's not.
Now, now let me ask you this question now.
Yeah.
What would be a good thing for me, for all of us, to incorporate in our lives to make sure that we always have like a checkpoint to come back to and tell ourselves that before you get too attached, know that this is not real. Remember that this is not real.
Man, there's several things, man. I mean, because I'm a little older now, I'm not as young as I'm not telling you my age, but I'm not as young as I used to be, and my mind is a little more concentrated on my my land after I leave here, my bank account, if you will, after I leave here. How much do I have in there, right? And so, for instance, there are times, I'm gonna keep it real. There are times I don't feel like praying the Sunnah for Salah. I don't. I just prayed Dhuhr or whatever, or Maghrib, and the Sunnah is right afterwards. I might not feel like praying that Sunnah, but then I think about, for instance, I say, man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, or the Prophet said, if I just pray every Sunnah for every Salah that there's a Sunnah for, Allah will build me a palace in Jannah. Am I that lazy that I cannot build me a palace in Jannah by praying all of your Sunnah for the day? You're building once you get done that day, khalas, they start building that palace for you in Jannah. All you got to do is just pray your Sunnah for the day. Right? By praying your Sunnah for the day, this is something I always think about, right? By praying your Sunnah for the day, it's almost like you're saying, there is something in Jannah waiting for me. You know what I'm saying? There's something there. Wait, I built a palace there by doing this.
You know what I'm saying? Is it a palace every day now?
If you pray all your Sunnah for every like it's 12, I believe it's 12. If you pray all of them in one day, a palace is built for you in Jannah. And so many different things that we if we build a masjid here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build a palace for us in Jannah. All of these things that we could be doing, this is how we need to be thinking. We give sadaqah jariyah. Inshallah, when you pass away, still that will continue to be ajr for you. These are the things that we need to be worried about. Instead of, oh man, I can't wait to go to Miami, or I can't wait to go, to this vacation. Man, hey, this year I'm putting away money for Hajj. Let me take care of that. Because when you do that, right, think about it, right? How many salah, just praying in the haram, that you get? How many thousands times your salah is augmented from praying in the haram, and then from praying at the Prophet's mosque, right? And then if you're there on the day of Arafat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives after Hajj all of your sayyat, everything.
Every single one.
And look at it now, subhanAllah, we might not even be able to go to Hajj this year because of this quarantine. You know, there's millions of people who will not, possibly this might be their last year on earth. And they had plans to, finally do their duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's take advantage of the time that we have. Of the blessings of it, and you just gotta want it, man. That's really what it is. You just really have to want it. You really have to want to be in a better place. I want to see all my friends, everybody, from Ignite, everybody that's watching this. I want to see everybody in Jannah, enjoying themselves, happy, peaceful, truly regret-free, not having to worry about a single thing. And all it means just to sacrifice a little bit of this life, to not get caught up in it for 50 years, 60 years, and Allah promises us an eternity. I'm game. Let's try and make it happen. It's not easy. It's not easy. Wallahi, it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? This is something that Allah knows what you like. He knows what I like. He knows what you don't like. He knows what I don't like. And He tests us with the very things that we like and dislike. There's the famous hadith. Jameel alayhi salam flew through Jannah, and he said, everybody's going to want to be here. It's so beautiful. This is the place to be, right? And then Allah ordered it to be surrounded by difficulty, hardships, things people don't like. And then He flew through it again and said, I fear nobody will be here. And then He went through Jahannam, right? And man, this place is terrible. Oh, God. Right? And He said, I fear nobody's going to want to be here. And then Allah ordered it to be surrounded by all the things we desire. Temptations. The life of this world, basically. And He went through, I fear everybody's going to be here. So it's not easy. But Jannah is worth its weight in gold. It's worth its weight in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's a price. It's worthy to pay. And I think that the greatest gift that we get in Jannah is the pleasure of Allah. I think that is the greatest gift to get. That your King, your Rabb, your Lord says that I am forever pleased with all of you. Whew. Relief that you cannot describe. He's happy with me. He's pleased with me for the rest of my existence. But we want the pleasure of this guy or that guy, or this girl wants this boy's pleasure, or that boy wants that girl's pleasure, or we all want somebody here that really truly isn't deserving of our loyalty. We want them to, be happy with us. Yeah, it's so many things, man. So many things. I just keep talking till Sheikh Ali comes, man.
Keep going.
I think that that's something that I think about all the time, man. It's just because you think about it, right? You're a student, Shadi, I'm a student, you're a student. And,
all of you guys are students.
Right? Finals are going on right now. The stress for some of my friends is real right now. They're trying to graduate this year. And it's like that, and coupled by we're working, trying to make money and take care of ourselves, our little bills, or whatever it is that we have. Then we have this quarantine that's going on, all of these different things that are distractions. Distractions. Meanwhile, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. Is there. Waiting on us. Right? It's so interesting. One of the things that I always remember about, sometimes because we are caught up in our lives so deeply, right? That we think that our life is everything. You know, we think that life is just that's it, right? But then you zoom out and you see the sky, right? The white clouds, the blue sky.
And subhanAllah, you just sometimes I have those moments when you look up
Yeah,
and you just feel so small that you
subhanallah,
don't always feel like.
subhanallah, man. And you zoom out further, right? And based on what you're saying, right? And you think about it, wow, we are this dot or this planet among all these other planets and the sun and the moon and all that stuff, right? And then you zoom out of that, and we are just a dot among all of these other little dots. And you zoom out of that, our whole universe is but a dot inside of another dot.
Ya Allah.
You know what I'm saying? Do we really think this world is that important? Is that important? The Prophet said the reality of the life of this world is like dipping your finger into an ocean or a lake. And the lake is the hereafter, right? The water that comes off your finger, that is the reality of this world. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to recharge, we have to get more in tune with him. Stop forgetting him. Stop forgetting him. We're living in a time where that is the new thing. Forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what I'm saying? Just oh, don't worry about it. Make your money. You know, oh, man, just don't worry about it, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You're the one that's gonna make this happen. You know, the arrogance that gets boiled within us. And Allah, I make it happen.
May Allah protect us from that.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, man. And just it's beautiful, man. It's and I just again, at the end of the day, I just want us all to be in Jannah, man. You know, it's terrible to live in a world that's so fleeting. Like nothing. You can't hold on to anything. You know, like you think about it. The second you make money, what happens? You're spending it. You're getting rid of it. You don't even get to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? Your bills, all of this other stuff is coming, man. SubhanAllah. Sheikh Ali is coming, I think. Man.
Honestly, I want to say two things right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Most of you guys are watching me, and I'm like I'm not speaking a word because subhanallah, Jameel this describes things in such a beautiful way. And for me, as like my personality in general, I just like to listen. And hatta I'm out of words because I'm just trying to soak as much of it as possible.
Oh, man.
SubhanAllah, just like reflect on it.
Alhamdulillah, man. Like honestly, man, it's all about Allah, man. It really is, man. It's all about the King, man. The Rabbil Alameen, man. And it's just like, man, live your life for Him. You know what I'm saying? Make Him happy, man. Because you don't have to be breathing. You don't have to be walking. You don't have to have food. Allah doesn't have to give you everything that He gave. You know, He's given all of us. SubhanAllah, we have this beautiful masjid. You know, one of the best places I have ever been, you know, invited to, you know what I'm saying, it's my home. You know what I'm saying? We have this gift, we have so many different gifts, so many of our parents are driving Lexuses and all of these gifts from Allah. Who should we give our allegiance to, man? Who should we live for, man? You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's just what it is for me, man. I try. Well, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I fall. I do things I know I shouldn't do, and it kills me. It breaks me apart. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, you know, my Lord is just not deserving of that for me. You know, but I strap up. I go back to, you know, jihadun nafs. That's what we were talking about, right? You know, fighting our desires and getting stronger. You know, I go right back out there every day. I fall, I get back up. I keep going because I want it to be said on the day of judgment that I valued my Lord and I valued what He has for me, inshallah. So
Honestly, we just have to do whatever. You just got to do whatever you got to do for yourself
yes,
to reach that point. Like for me, honestly, a recent example, something that is not as much as deen related, but it's also you can see it as part of like a distraction.
Yeah.
For like distraction from salah, from reading Quran, and distraction in general. It's the Call of Duty game actually. Most of us Call of Duty Mobile. Most of us actually probably play it. You either have it on your phone, or you've downloaded it, or maybe PUBG or something like that.
Yeah.
And subhanAllah, like I used to play PUBG a lot, like probably 2 years ago, and I stopped. And it was only a few days ago that I got back on Call of Duty, and it just kept increasing, increasing. I would play more games and more games and
Man.
more games. And I saw the time that I spent on reading Quran or spending time with my family or just
Yeah.
relaxing, kind of having that mental break, decrease and decrease and decrease.
Oh,
And
oh,
subhanAllah, like I knew that was happening every time it happened, even if it was a little bit. And I would tell myself like, no, I want to do something about it. I want to stop it. I want to, oh, like I even put a timer, like, okay, 20 minutes, that's it. I'll pray,
yeah.
like I'll play a few games, and then I'll see the timer and I'll stop and that's it.
Yeah.
But what happens? I see the timer. I'm like, no, man, I'm in a
I'm getting
game.
close.
Swipe. You close it and you keep
SubhanAllah.
going, and
SubhanAllah.
it leads to like an hour,
Yeah.
or sometimes like at least for an hour here, 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and it keeps adding up,
Yeah.
taking such a huge chunk of your day.
SubhanAllah, man. You know,
And
it's so much we could be doing, you know, to help out. I mean, SubhanAllah, man. Like, I knew this kid who I used to go to high school with. You know, unfortunately, he passed away. Um, but
Allah yarhamah.
he used to, you know, on his own, he would make these sandwiches. He would make as many as he could, and he would just go downtown and feed the homeless. You know, just stuff like that, man. Like anything, man. Like, you know, whatever. You look in your pocket, you got an extra $10, man. You know, you could easily waste it, or you can easily go and give it to Sadaqah or something, man. Help somebody. I mean, any little thing you can do, man. If you notice you got a bunch of extra time on your hands, go visit some elders. Go sit with them. And trust me, they love it when they have people who want to hear what they have to say for a change. You know what I'm saying? Who want to include them or whatever. Get that edge. You know, we talked about four things on my other class. Four things Abu Bakr Siddiq did. Four things. Prophet ﷺ asked. He said,
Yes,
"Did anybody go out and visit the sick? Did anybody visit the sick?" Right? And Abu Bakr Siddiq said, "I did." He raised his hand. Right? And he said, "Did anybody follow the funeral?" This is all in one day. Did anybody follow the funeral procession? He raised his hand. He said, "I did." Right? It's meaning he went and he prayed janazah on someone. And then he started telling him, asked, "Who's fasting today?" And he said, "I'm fasting." You know, and Abu Bakr said all of these three things. I forgot. I feel so bad because it's a question. I should know the fourth one. I forgot the fourth one. But anyway, he did all these things in one day. You know what I'm saying? He's not wasting his time. You know, I'm trying to stack up for my Jannah, inshallah. It's said about Abu Bakr Siddiq that, inshallah, when he gets to Jannah, he will be called from every single gate. The gate of Salah, the gate of Sadaqah, the gate of fasting, all of these different gates, because he was doing all of these things. You know, what better confusion to have? Which gate am I going to enter from? You know what I'm saying? Subhanallah.
SubhanAllah.
You know, get it in your minds, everybody. Lock it in your brain. We are not here forever. We are going to have to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're going to see him. He's going to ask us about our deeds. He's going to look at us. He's going to scrutinize every small detail, things you didn't even think mattered. He's going to look into that. And some things he's not going to even bring up out of his rahmah. He's going to just forgive you for it, inshallah. But do what you can. Go hard. Be a warrior about it. Grind. Make what you can. Know that you're not perfect, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. And He sees everything. He sees your effort, man. He sees that even though you might be failing in certain things, He still sees that you're trying. You know what I'm saying? Allah is merciful, man. So,
Honestly,
go
I just
ahead.
want to add one small thing to that too. You have to be, like Jameel said earlier, you have to be real about it. You have to want it, and you have to do whatever you got to do to get there. So for me, with that Call of Duty game, I saw that I couldn't, like, I had a plan myself. I had a plan. Every day I'd fix and adjust that plan. to get and like reduce the time that I'm spending on that game, because you don't want to just you gotta have a balance of stuff, right? And you want to keep that balance stable, and you want to like make sure that the things that you care most about are about getting close to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. And for that game, I was like, you know what? I don't want to take out as much because it kind of gives me a break throughout the day to enjoy, because we're not having as much things to do.
Yeah.
But because I saw that I couldn't get myself to quit it, you know what I did? Can you guess? I just clicked on it. I deleted it. Because at that point, I knew, and I was honest to myself that I knew I couldn't like stop myself from playing this game and from playing it for long periods of time. So I was like, man, the best thing for me to do right now and to really get the best out of this month from reading Quran, from spending time with my family, is to just get rid of it.
SubhanAllah. Well, everyone, thank you so much for spending time with us, listening to us, inshallah. We'll be back next Saturday. We'll have another interesting topic to discuss with you guys. And inshallah, man, we love you. Have a great Ramadan. Finish it up. Have good iftar tonight, inshallah. See you guys.